Hey everyone, do you have an embroidery machine? Do you have some plush fabrics laying around? Have you been dreaming of an adorable winter craft project? If the answer is yes, let's get out of the loop and dive into the hoop and make this awesome snowman plushie together. Here is a little rundown of the supplies we're going to need, and let's dive right into our fabrics. First, we're going to need a front and a back for our little snowman stick arms. And then we're going to need a front and a back piece for our snowman body and a face applique piece as well. Now I chose to work with white, but you could make any color snowman your heart desires. Now our first dive into the hoop is to make our snowman stick arms. Here we just have a piece of stabilizer that was hooped and then our right sides together of our fabrics, and we just run those through our machine to stitch out our arms. After they're done stitching, we can remove them from the hoop and we're going to go ahead and cut them out. Once our arms are cut out, we're going to go back and clip really close in all the corners. This is going to ensure that when we turn our arms right side out, we're not going to have any weird pinching or puckering. And then once we get them turned right side out, we're going to actually be filling these with polyfill. Make sure you're using small bits of polyfill at a time. After our little arms are filled to our liking, we're going to be setting those aside and diving back into the hoop to work on our body. Every time we move to our machine for a new hooping, we're going to start with a piece of stabilizer hooped. So here we have our stabilizer hooped and we're laying down our front body piece for our snowman directly over top of it and stitching out a body tack down. Now I have to pause here and add a tag, but this is totally optional. The body tack down stitch is attaching the fabric directly to the stabilizer. It's ensuring that we have a really crisp, clean canvas to work off of. After our body tack down is complete, we're going to be moving back to our machine to work on our face applique. We have our smooth minky laid right over the face area, and here I am just holding it down so it's nice and taut as it stitches its way around. This is to make sure there's no weird pinches or puckering in our fabric. Again, we want a really clean, crisp canvas to be working off of. Our applique stitch goes around the entire face once, and then it goes back over it with a nice back stitch to lock everything in really securely. Now that our applique is done stitching, we're going to be cutting the excess fabric away from the outside of our face. With a pair of duckbill scissors or curved scissors, we're going to be pulling our fabric a little bit taut as we move our way around the outside of the face and cut away that fabric. Now that we have all that fabric out of the way, let's head back to our machine and do a finishing zigzag stitch. This just makes everything look really crisp and clean. Next up, we're going to be adding wash away stabilizer. Now, our snowman has some buttons that go down his body, so it's really important that we not only cover the face with wash away stabilizer, but we also make sure that that body and belly area is covered as well. I prefer to use pins to attach my wash away stabilizer, but some people like to use painter's tape, so whatever is safe and best for you, go ahead and do that. Once we have our wash away stabilizer secured, we're going to be whipping right through our stitch order, starting off with the whites of our eyes. Next up is our eye color for our snowman. I chose to work with a lot of blues and greens, but you can do whatever you want. After you do the eye color, it's going to be black for the eyebrows, the eyes, and the cute little mouth. And then we have white for our pupils. Next up, we have orange for our little faux carrot nose. And last but not least, we have our little gray stone buttons. Now that we're done stitching our cute little details, we're going to remove all of that wash away stabilizer. It's handy to have a pair of tweezers around to pick away any small pieces. I like to make it a little challenge to see how much stabilizer I can pull off in one quick shot. He looks so cute. All right, now we're going to be heading back to the machine and doing probably the most difficult part of our pattern. Okay, we have our little stick arms gathered, and they are going to be facing inward on the body. On this side, the stitch is going to start from the bottom of the arm. So we're going to line up the bottom of the arm directly under the path of our needle. We're going to close our pressure foot down on top of it, and we're going to run the stitch while we gently hold it in place. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Let's move to the other side and talk through this one more time. Now the stitch on this side is going to start at the top of the arm. So with our arm facing inward, we're going to align the top of the arm directly under the path of our needle and lower our presser foot down. Again, we're just going to gently hold this in place while it runs the stitch down the arm to tack it into place. And that's that. We did it! Okay, now that our arms are attached, we're going to be finishing off our in the hoop project with adding the back side of our body. So with right sides together, we're just going to be laying down the fabric and moving back over to our machine. Our last task here for the in the hoop portion of our project is to just gently hold our fabric in place as the machine stitches around the entirety of the body to just lock everything into place. Here's a little tip when working with ultra plush fabrics. If you have a new machine, go ahead and raise the presser foot height. That way you don't have any issues going over the thickness of the appendages. If you have an older embroidery machine that doesn't allow you to do that, and it looks like when you're getting to the appendage, you might have a hard time getting over top of it, pause your machine, lift your presser foot, and then immediately put it right back down. This just adds a little bit of relief to help it get over top of the arms. Then you can continue on your way. At this point in the video, we've already popped our plushie out of the hoop and we're going to just cut it as close as we can to the seam safely. And when we get to this little turn hole area, we're going to do a little bump out. This is going to be helpful when we go to stuff it and to sew it closed. All right, now I'm just clipping really close in the corners. I like to add a couple relief clips here to where I add my care tag too. But again, just like we did with the little stick arms, clipping in these corners is really important because it removes any risk of puckers in the neck area when we turn it. Okay, next up, we're going to turn our plushie right side out. I'm just using a little turn tool here and a chopstick to help with that process. Once I get it mostly turned right side out, I'm going to go ahead and take my chopstick and go back inside of the turn hole and just help press out anything that might not be popped out all the way. I like to go back over the head area too and just really kind of sink into all of those seams and round everything out nicely. This is really helpful for the next step, which is stuffing. When you have everything rounded out smoothly, it makes for a nice, clean, stuffed plushie. So at this point, let's assume you have your plushie stuffed and we're going to go ahead and close it up with a ladder stitch. I do plan on doing a full stuffing tutorial video in the very near future, so keep an eye out for that. Now we have one final detail here that I'll share with you. I like to go ahead and clean up a little bit of this faux fur around the buttons. I just feel like it makes it pop and all come together. Hey, I think that wraps up our tutorial. Thank you guys so much for joining me getting out of the loop and into the hoop crafting this awesome little snowman plushie. Come back and share with me. I want to see what you created.